Welcome back to the channel, friends. On my Urdu channel, I have added one of the polls and I asked you people this question. The question is mentioned here. Okay, this is very small. Let me enlarge it. So this is the question. Question is, while paying off debt, which option from the below do you prefer and why? So basically, I was thinking about making a video on this topic as well. So I thought to ask you the question, and then maybe you, once your answers are there, then I will make a video on that. So the two options are debt snowball method and debt avalanche methods. So these are the two popular methods of paying off debt, and apart from that, there are many other considerations that you have to keep in mind before paying off the debt. And if you have multiple debts of multiple values, it is important for you to watch this video till the end so that you have a full perspective. But before that, let me ask you a question. Do you think taking debt or taking loan is a good idea? Like Robert Kiyosaki said, that the idea that you have to get out of debt and stay out of debt to be successful is a lie. It is just another way the rich stays rich, and it makes sure that the poor stays poor. Now, this is said by someone who is very credible, although I don't agree to him on many instances nowadays, because he's talking about something which doesn't make sense to me, at least. But in past, he has written a very good book, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad, and for that, for sure, you have to read that. I have linked it in the description as well if you want. There is an affiliate link and you can buy that book through Amazon as well. There is another quote that he has mentioned: I use debt to buy assets. Most people use debt to buy toys and liabilities. This is very much correct, and I agree to this 100% that many people buy liabilities, or let's say toys for the big boys, like cars, like mobile phones and stuff like that, which is basically a liability to you. Instead of buying that, you can buy assets. I have made several videos on that as well on my YouTube channel, apart for how you can invest and how you can make your money grow. Make sure to watch those videos as well. There is another quote which I must mention here: be careful when you take on debt. If you take on debt personally, make sure it's small. If you take on large debt, make sure someone else is paying off. Now, the thing is, there are multiple quotes from Robert Kiyosaki, and some of them I agree with and some of them I don't. This quote as well, I agree partially, but not 100%. In this quote, basically what he's saying, if you're getting a bigger loan, then make sure you don't pay for it, but somebody else pays for it. It's very famous saying for, let's say, house mortgage. If you are buying a house, make sure you rent it out and somebody else is paying the mortgage of that house. But it is not that simple. All the quotes from Robert Kiyosaki or other Western authors cannot be implemented directly on a country like, let's say, a third world country, or let's say in GCC countries as well. There are many caveats while implementing such kind of quotes on your own personal life. So make sure you don't apply the borrowed wisdom, but think about it and apply your own thought before implementing such kind of quotes. So let me not deviate from the topic here, and we'll talk about the loans and your preferences. Basically, there are three consideration, in my opinion, that you must have before paying off your loans. Out of those consideration, the one that we have mentioned in the poll, those are the ones as well, but I will talk about that in the third point. First point is that type of loan and your preferences. You must know what type of loan you are carrying. There are two type of loan, I can say. One is secured loan and the other is unsecured loans. This secured and unsecured is from the perspective of the lenders. So let's say a bank is financing a car for you. It means that they are secured because they know that the car that they have is a physical thing, and that they can take away from you as soon as you don't pay the amount, or let's say you skip the payments. They can go easily and take the possession of the car. Similarly, if there is a mortgage, if you're living in a mortgage property, then bank can easily come and take away your property if you're not able to pay for the monthly installment. So this kind of loan is secured in terms of bank, or let's say whatever the lender is. They can easily take away your possessions. The other type of loan is basically unsecured loan from the perspective of the lender, because let's say if they lend you something in terms of personal loan, then they might not be able to let's say take away your home or your car based on that loan. They have given you a credit card, or you've got a credit card loan. They cannot come to your house and ask for let's say your possessions. They can even harass you, but they cannot do such kind of thing that they can take your possession. So it is up to you to prioritize if you want to have the payment done for the secured loan or the unsecured loan. Sometimes people don't want to pay for the cars, let's say, because they were thinking that okay, we've used the car and now we don't need the car anymore. Whatever loss we have incurred, it's fine. The bank can take away the car. The bank will take away the car, and it is fine with them. But sometimes this car is very important to you, and you are using it for daily commute. Your family is using it. You're using it to go to the office. So you don't want to mess up with that bank who has given you the loan for the car, because otherwise they can be repossessing the car easily. So it depends on a loan type and your priority, wherever you think that it is important to pay off. The other important thing in terms of paying off the loan is that you must know the idea of how reducing interest rates work, because reducing balance interest rate means that if you have, let's say, three loans, one loan is only 1 year remaining to pay off, the other loan is, let's say, 5 years, and the other loan is, let's say, 10 years. So the 10 years loan must have the most amount of interest involved in that. The 5 years loan would have less amount of interest priced into that, and the first the loan which is only for 1 year, remaining for the 1 year, will have the least amount of interest. So in case you want to pay off all the loans, the priority should be coming to the loan which is, let's say, 10 years from now, because the loan which is only 1 year remaining, most of the cases the interest is already paid. It's only the principal now remaining. So you are better off not paying the full amount of loan for the remaining of 1 year, and let it be on the monthly basis, while concentrate on paying off the 10 years loan so that you can pay off that loan quickly. Now, in the beginning, as we discussed, there are two methods of paying off the loan, which is one is the debt avalanche method, and the other one is, let's say, debt snowball method. So many people think that the debt snowball method is much better than the avalanche method, but in practical, in theory as well, debt avalanche method is much better than paying off the debt through the debt snowball method. Debt snowball method is only good in case you have a psychological impact of paying off the debts. All that, let's say, if you have five loans and you want to pay all of them, but you cannot pay all of them in one go. So what you'll do, the least amount of loan whatever you have will be paid off first, and then after that the second least amount, and then so on and so forth. So basically you are paying off the smallest amount of debt without looking into what interest rates the loan is carrying. So in case, let's say, if you have 5 loans and the largest loan is having the most amount of interest charged on that, in that case you will only be paying the small amount of loan, and you will be happy that you will be relieved from the fifth loan, and only 4 loans are left over now. But actually the amount every month is increasing from the largest loan, because it is having the highest amount of interest as well. So it depends on how you think, because some people want to have this psychological impact and they want to get rid of all the loans, but one by one. In that case, that snowball is good. But if you talk about practically, then in that case, the one which is carrying the most amount of interest rate should be paid off first. Either it is the third one or the first one or the last one, whatever it is, the biggest one or the smallest one. If you want to talk about in terms of better managing your debt, then the one which is having the highest amount of interest rate, it should be paid off first. In general, credit cards are having the most amount of interest, and I won't recommend anybody to not to pay credit card bills on time, or let's say every month they skip some payment of their on the credit card. So make sure you pay the credit card bills on time, because even at sometimes they can charge you as much as 55% or 50% per annum, which is very high. Compared to something like a personal loan, which is around 4%, 5%, let's say, I'm talking about Dubai and similar countries, you will get, let's say, personal loan at 5%, 4%, 6% at max. But the loan from the credit card will cost you around 50% and 55% per annum, which is very, very high. So make sure you pay off the credit card loan first, and then talk about personal loan or other loans. In theory, Avalanche method is much better, but let's say if you are having psychological impact by paying off one debt at a time, then debt snowball is much better. It depends entirely upon you and your family circumstances and your own circumstances. I make multiple videos about personal finance and productivity on this channel. I have an Urdu channel as well. Here on the end screen you can see two different type of investment platforms that I invest through. One is Stake, the other one is Baraka, which I invest through for the US stocks and the properties in the UAE. Make sure to check out these videos and let me know how do you feel like. Thanks a lot.